President Trump today ordered the creation of a new commission to investigate the possibility of voter fraud in the last election. He lost the popular vote, of course, to Hillary Clinton in November, and he has said repeatedly since then he would have won the popular vote if it weren't for widespread but undetected fraud. Kobach is the Secretary of State for the state of Kansas. He was appointed to the new commission, and he joins us tonight. Secretary, thanks for joining us. So,
great to be with you.
How are you going to determine the level of voter fraud? This is a controversial subject. Others have tried. How are you going to get to the truth?
Well, I just want to say, first of all, it's not just the 2016 election. It's voter fraud more broadly, and it's all forms of it, and also things like allegations of voter suppression. We're looking at all of the voting irregularities that affect the integrity of our election. So to answer your question, there are lots of things we can look at. You can look at individual cases that states have of people convicted or cases where there's credible evidence of voter fraud. You can look at databases, and this is the first of its kind nationwide effort to actually look at all 50 states. So I know I'm very familiar with what's going on in Kansas and cases we have presented to federal courts in defending our proof of citizenship system. But I don't know what's going on in the other 49 states. So we'll bring evidence from all 50 states, and we'll also look at some of the federal government's facts and data that they can provide as well.
But how are you going to find it if it doesn't exist? We know for a fact, because we hear it every day in the media, it's like the Yeti. It's a figment of your imagination. Voter fraud has never occurred in America. So how do you hope to prove otherwise?
Well, we have proven it. We've proven it in courts. I'm the only Secretary of State who has the authority to prosecute voter fraud directly. We just prosecuted our 9th case a few weeks ago in the last year and a half. And the Heritage Foundation has a database of more than 700 convictions for voter fraud. But, you know, here's another way you can do it, and this has never been done before. The federal government has a database of every known alien who has a green card or a temporary visa. States have in the past asked, can we please run our voter rolls against that database and see if any of those aliens are on our voter rolls? Yeah. The federal government has always said no. Well, now we're going to be able to run that database against 1 or 2 states and see how many people are known aliens residing in the United States and also on the voter rolls. That's never been done before. If
the federal government wouldn't allow the states to check the integrity of their voter rolls, that suggests to me they wanted voter fraud to occur. What's the other explanation?
You know, there were bureaucratic explanations that this would be too difficult. Our computer systems, this is the federal government talking, our computer system isn't set up for the way the state wants to do this data check. But, you know, bottom line is it can be done, and the commission, this is one of the things that the commission will do, is try to get some hard facts out there, some data. We already have a lot of data, but let's get more data and let people draw their own conclusions.
So really quickly, why would anybody be against ensuring the integrity of elections?
That's a great question. I mean, you think about it, the integrity and the fairness of our elections is at the very core of it's at the very foundation of our republic. If we don't have fair elections, how can we as a country have confidence in our system? How can you have loyal opposition? How can I as an elected official be confident that I really won the election or really lost the election?
Right.
You have to have that. You have to have it, and this will hopefully provide facts that will shed light on the subject and give greater confidence to our system, and also make some recommendations. Here are some vulnerabilities we see in some states. Here are some recommendations, and let the states decide.
Seems really important. In fact, hard to think of many things more important, so Godspeed. Secretary Kobach, thank you.